What is good, Boom Bap Nation? It's the Boom-BapHistorian back for not an album review, but it's the end of the year. Obviously, it ended. We're in 2026, and typically, I always wait to do my year-end wrap-up albums of the year, honorable mentions after the new year. Albums sometimes always seem to drop towards the end of the year. I know at the very, very end of December, some pretty dope projects came out right around December 30, 31st. And one included was the new Kurt Solid and Bronze Nazareth album, which I highly recommend, and I may try and do a review of that album. But that's why I typically always try to wait, because sometimes albums come towards the very, very end. However, with that being said, I think this year in hip-hop is one of the best years in hip-hop. I've probably listened between 350 to 400 albums this year. Unfortunately, a lot of the reviews I didn't get to. There was some technical difficulties on my end, and I ended up deleting a lot of my list and reviews that I had set up coming up. So, however, so I was going to do like a top 50, top 75. However, I shortened it to a top 15. However, this first video is going to be the honorable mentions. So this is going to be just a handful of albums that I think deserve to be in the spotlight. They were definitely album of the year. I would say necessarily they weren't all necessarily album of the year contenders, but it felt like at times these were in the mix of top 10 albums. However, I went with the top 15, and that will be the next video that I load up after this one. So yeah, I think it was a tremendous year for hip-hop. I listened to so much music, so many new artists that I came across, and of course some of my favorite artists continue to put out some amazing music. So I'm not going to go deep into these with reviews, because some of them already up, some I had planned and never got to get them up. So as it is, that's the way it's going to be. So this is going to be, you're going to have it pop up right here so you can zoom in or check it out as well. But yeah, so these are not in any particular order. I'm just going to start and go through the list and try to get this video done in a short amount of time. But again, I just think it was an amazing year for hip hop. So many dope releases. You had the series coming out of Mass Appeal. You had debut albums from Coyote. You had the return of Exhibit, Cube, the Nas of Primo. Just so many. Amazing albums came out, and that doesn't include all the stuff that I generally listen to through Bandcamp and the more independent scene. But I feel very good about this mention. And again, I could have added another 30, 40, 50 albums to this list, but and I could have easily done a top 50, top 100, which I had all set up, and then I lost all my stuff. So you are going to see, if you know and you follow and go, hey, there's some 4.5 mics and some 4 mics and things like that. I went through, re-listened to stuff, and made some changes, and some ratings went up and maybe some went down. So that's the reason why this list is where it is. But nonetheless, we'll start off again with the honorable mentions. So this is just a handful of albums that I just feel that they need shine. They need to be out there. Folks need to check them out. They're super dope projects, and again, some of these were definitely in contention to be in that top 5, top 10 slot. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. So the first one is It's Nasty Outside, Andreas Haley. The Whole Nine, Blabbermouth. You've heard me do the review on that one. Black Lick and Dub Sonata. Much Given, Much Tested, I believe is the name of that album. Bless Picasso, Realist in the Room 3. You saw the review on that project. Nyoko 3 from Coast La Castro. Absolution from Absolute Carnage, another fantastic album from, shout out, Omega Level Records. Welcome to Hubs, Draper Calloway, another album you saw me review that got much praise from me. The Mike Bless and Clutch LP. Magic Alive from McKinley Dixon. Just Us, Master Wiz, another album review that I did on that project. I believe this next album is a review I did not get to, but this is Wine and Circus from Richmond's Locksmith. AON 3, Despite My Mistakes, Lloyd Banks. 10,000 Hours, P-Row, G-Fam Black, and High Q. And this is a project I know that it was in my top 5, top 10, top 15. It just kind of got bumped out, but this is still an absolutely fantastic album. Again, shout out to all those dudes, G-Fam, P-Row, High Q, Omega Level Records. One of my favorite MCs, Fresh Daily and Parental with These Things Take Time. This is an album that I feel was that I got to very, very late in the year, and this next project, and I never got around to do a review for this project. But if you haven't heard this project, and maybe I should just do one, and despite it, coming out in 2025. But this is the project Ray the Worst, The Quiet One. Absolutely dope record. Dusty Cinema and The Soloist with Stems, The Flowering. Architect, The Deep End, another project that I did do the Soloist review. Architect is a review that I did not get to. Substance 810 and Josiah The Gift, You're All Welcome. I just want to make sure that I get this one correct. P-Row and Fluid Dust with Used Crayons. Nick Grant, I Took It Personal. And Nick Grant, I believe that album from Nick Grant was made it on some people's top 10 list. There was a few lists that I saw through YouTube, and I want to say that was one of the albums that was on some of the folks' top 10 list. It's a really, really dope album, for sure. Sorry guys, I just want to make sure that alright, Poe Mac, Mountain God 4. So that was one that I had. You can see it in here if you look at it. It was in between the Used Crayons and You're All Welcome. So that was Poe Mac with Poe Mac and Van Guns with Mountain God 4. 2 albums from Recognize Ali, Back to Mecca 3 and Gorilla Dynasty 3. Coyote, Yode La Landia. I believe that's how it's pronounced. That's a fantastic album. Sound of Market, The High and Mighty, is another really dope project. And another album that I did a review for, got praised really high from me, is the Goodfellas from The Wise Guys. So that is essentially, as you can see right here, it's posted above. Hopefully there's just some of those projects that you heard. Like I said, these are all worthy and potential to be in the top albums of the year. Some of these I had reviews for and never got around to them. Some of these I've done reviews for. And in between the time of reviews and now, they've either dropped a little bit in the mic rating or they might be got pushed up a little bit. But I think in most cases, some of these kind of got knocked down a little bit. But those are my honorable mentions. So I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, follow. Let me know what you think of this. And as always, a disclaimer, these are my honorable mentions. I know you guys have your own list. That's fine. You can hate on the list. That's okay. I will not lose no sleep over it. But like, share, hit the comments. Let me know what your honorable mentions. Let me know if you heard any of these projects, and stay tuned because the Boom-BapHistorian presents the top 15 albums, hip-hop albums of 2025 is coming up next. All right, like, subscribe, stay tuned, y'all. 2026, we're going to continue pumping out these album reviews. All right, peace.